everyone. Welcome to Hey You Maps. We're on our part 3 here of this jungle VIP map that we're creating. Thought I'd go live today, kind of impromptu, to see if I could finish up pulling together the beginning and the ending of the map. These live sessions seem to work well. Thanks to anyone that's been following along. Curious how the first parts of these maps have come together. Feel free to check out those first 2 live streams. But yeah, just to recap so far the map, go kind of bird's eye view with our blue spawned area, which needs a lot of work. It's just kind of a placeholder really right now. There's a few ideas in there that I have. Kind of our entry point here, leading up to a undeveloped area, including even this area here is really undeveloped. And then decided in the last session to develop the final point because I had a vision for this kind of end area with somewhat developed red spawn. So as mentioned, we're going to try to see if we can develop this area a little bit, bring it to get together, and then release a little bit of a version for people working on it on the channel, on the VIP mode. So the idea here is going to be, initially it was going to be to have blue spawn up here, kind of trek through till the first point was captured, then have them spawn here. I'm rethinking through that. I'm just going to have them spawn in a general area because I kind of wanted this falling, this ability to fall. I think I'm going to have something like that here potentially, but the team said it's probably best to have a forward spawn area once the first point's captured. So as much as I would like to do that and keep this one spawn point in the same spot, the reason why I like to do that is I'm just really like to favor engineers not moving their teleporters constantly. Personally, as someone that plays a lot of engineer attack NG, I prefer, I can't aim, I'm old, so I have to play engineer. But I prefer to keep my teleporter in the same spots, so I try to think through that. But we're going to embrace what they've learned so far and may end up building in a forward spawn somewhere. I've had a couple thoughts that there's an opportunity here, although the area is super small. And potentially somewhere over here could be another place, although I don't like sending people out this way and then that way. So it's kind of a Stony Ridge feel, at an angle to spawn. Anyway, those types of things are kind of easy to figure out later on, so in the spirit of that, I'm probably going to just come back to that. But flow is a big thing. So the first piece is kind of, we have 3 spawn exits, and really the first time people spawn, they kind of disperse, which is fine. But after that first spawn, you can really expect people are going to follow one general route. So probably do something like that. Here, just have to be careful that red cannot see players whenever they spawn. So just have to figure that out. I may have to put like an opening here with this. Really wasn't expecting to work on this part quite yet, but hey, why not? So yeah, anyway, just to cut that line of sight down later on, kind of remind myself of that. Fix all this up later, but anyway. So yeah. Anyway, general flow was to hopefully initially lead people kind of out on the central route. I set this up on purpose, although this might be a problem later on the sight line here. I recognize there's a couple fixes for that. We can bring this exit out over here, which I'm prepared to do. Generally, when I map, I think through like first, second, and third options. So I generally have like a fallback design in mind, or there might be some kind of prop that's put here, but it's actually designed so that the sight line is kind of scary, because while this is the straightest line, I kind of want there to be just a lot of like red always here, from a sniper being here or whatnot. I also designed this too so that the snipers are kind of limited on their view, so any players kind of coming on this under route, they're blind to, as well as anyone coming this way, so they are at risk through that route. Additionally, kind of design this so that counter snipers can kind of come around here, snipe as needed, and then fall through here, which I haven't figured out how I'm going to do this yet, but I kind of want this to be this kind of back route, potentially up to something that is a higher advantage point, that it takes red a little bit of time to get over to that, or they're at a disadvantage because they can't jump up. In any case, so red would come through, capture a point somewhere, maybe they're going to slide it left or right in some way, and then I might make the main flow for the teams coming in and out through this way. This is here right now to kind of block line of sight, so this is what we're going to figure out today, is like what is all this, what's going on here, and how should teams flow here. So this was developed in the last session. It's supposed to be like kind of this jungle ruins type feel. Some of it eventually, I don't want to build up this too much, but should look kind of decrepit, like it's been aged over time, maybe a little bit of vinage, but we'll get to that after we prove out the layout. A couple things that's been developed since I closed the session last time is a little route up here that I want to figure out how to allow kind of blue to get up here. So all this will be kind of a displacement area eventually, sloping down. This here will be the displacement. This is the backdrop or whatever, vacuum part. So just expand that out a little bit, and put what will probably be a rock wall or something, who knows, here. In fact, I've been trying to keep anything that I think will be a rock wall as this kind of gray texture. You can see it over here too. So I don't get too deep on the detailing, although you can see really I'm more focused on focal points here, like, oh, what would it look like? What will I need? That type of thing. So anyway, flow, back to flow. Red spawn is over here. So I do have those players here. I'm going to have to create an exit here. First round, I really want them to come. This wall feels really thick now. I'll look at it again. So I really want players to kind of come out here, and I think what I'm going to have to watch out for is the sight line. I'm not sure how much I really want people to stand up here and snipe at the point. I really kind of want to force them down. So I may want to raise up this point. I'm not really sure how high I can go before that becomes a problem. Another thing I can think about doing is lowering these archways some. So I'm not sure. Let's see what this my kind of standard doorway is. Let's go with this guy here. So I'm just going to copy this over here and see how low I can actually bring this down. So I've got a lot of room. Hopefully that looks okay in the long run. We kind of dropping both of these down, I think it's probably a good idea. Some. Thanks to anyone watching this live. Really appreciate that. It's kind of a good motivation for me. Like and subscribe if you want to. Really, you're just kind of using YouTube as a platform to stream this. Could care less about the channel so much, but was requested to do this a while back, which is why I started streaming these sessions. Let me think through what's going on here. Let's see. And yeah, I think I'm going to slice this. It's kind of a cheap way to do this, but I kind of hate this. But I think hammer will be okay. Figure out how to do a 45-degree angle. And same thing here. Just bring this over. Really. So yeah, I appreciate anyone watching these sessions. Even in the future. Hopefully, I've been doing this for a while. Hopefully, you're learning something. Maybe I'm learning something from you. Too. All right. So. Solved for very little there. I kind of want this one to be the main route out, and this could be a little bit problematic because there's no like back way. Like, don't terribly want people to kind of stand up here and snipe. So again, we got still a little bit of a problem here. Room to work. Let's see how that looks right here. I think these ones being big are fine. I think I need to rethink this. So let's just do something really simple for now. These arches need to be rebuilt long term. They're ugly, pretty much ugly. So they just need to be refined, really. For now, it's kind of for me to get an idea of what's going on there. Same thing, I could have done all that at the same time, but it's fine. And in theory, they're all a group, so I just do that, bring it down. And let's do this, just gotta keep me for doing that. Just copy it over, but it's fine. It's about the same amount of strokes. And, okay, great. What's going on there? So yeah, hope people get a little bit of something out of this. It's kind of like maybe hate comparing myself to him, but it feels a little bit like Bob Ross paints or something. Right. So didn't really want to get too caught up on this, but I do need to come back and figure out like how I can eliminate those snipe lines kind of coming out this. I feel like spawn rooms, probably one of the most complicated things when it comes to Team Fortress 2, like getting them right can make or break certain maps, or I've seen kind of certain maps fall just flat on their face. But back to it, I really want to see like how I can develop that. So I thought a little bit about this kind of being maybe a cool perch that takes a second to get up to. Like, not sure how I feel about that. I kind of want to make that a little more clean long term, but maybe this is something that even blue traverses something around here, kind of has to come up and is required to come back over here, and especially if you've got a nice teleporter exit over here, could be key. So let's, before I forget to do this, kind of want to wait to turn that into a displacement before I figure out really what the rest of this terrain is going to be. So this could be a building of some sort. Something I thought about. So again, thinking about having a forward spawn, something around in this area, it's the only kind of logical thing that would make sense. I could even build this out a little bit, but something where they kind of come out, you as a player see, oh, there's I recognize this thing, and I now need to traverse this way. So I need to figure out now, what's that flow going to look like between those 2 points. And some overlapping brushes here, but how am I going to do that? I'm wondering. I have a general rule where paths should probably generally have an average of like 3.5 ways that players can go from one area to another. We need to cut down kind of everything visually there, which is what this is meant to do. Also the reason why I pulled that in some, so I'm going to bring up the size of this some, just to cut down that, and then it's probably smart if I bring this over just a little bit, and then probably want something over here, just kind of closing that off. Not really 100% sure what I want to do yet over here. Just build out more mountains just to kind of establish that this side is going to be more mountainous. Early on, I envisioned just a lot of hopefully waterfalls and stuff coming kind of along the side of this. Again, dense jungle, but I envisioned a lot of screenshots kind of coming from this side of the although this final one's here, but this side of the map. So get back to this. Yeah, I just saw the question in the chat, and I'm hoping the team can really help me with that, of like, hey, well, have you decided what VIP you're going to do with this? And I haven't yet. I'm actually hoping to install both and see which one works better, but kind of hoping the team can dictate that a little bit. So we'll see. I've been wondering if the vertical needs to go up some from here, because it does feel a little flatter than I expected. I wanted this vertical climb up, so let's maybe do that really quick before I get too crazy here. Let's make things a little easier for myself. feels a little better. Yeah. Even these stairs, now that I look at them again, might be a little too... Might need a little bit more of a climb up, but let's maybe build that in over time. So I'm going to do... Let's see what one more unit looks like. That's too much. Alright, so what that does is create most Team Fortress 2 maps kind of have a climb up. I didn't build as much of one in here as I would have liked, but I'm hoping kind of leading up to the point there's a somewhat of a climb up. Gorge doesn't really have one. Now that I think about it, it's kind of a flat map overall. But in any case, kind of want to upward vertical climb on the second point. It could be interesting. I don't know if these 2 points feel too far apart from each other now. But we'll just test to figure out how that does. Let's pull this down now some. Verticality also helps reduce sightlines, as you've seen, so it's another reason to build that in. It's really bothering me that it's not on grid. So the question is, did I build in enough verticality now, leading up to this final point? Verticality can also add to the distance, so you got to be careful there. But so the idea here probably is to make this into some kind of building of some sorts, and probably connect these two things. From a mountain point of view, we could build paths into this as though like caves and things like that, but I think sending players over this too far is just too far of a path. So really want to keep kind of players in this range, and really thinking about this, there's this kind of far path that you don't want to get too crazy with, but the idea of this is to create a backwards path, to get up to the point here. I should probably move. Maybe get ADD with this map just all over the place, but it's fine. Anyway, this back path here, want some kind of displacement up, more displacements. I was thinking about building a death trap in here, although the more that I look at them, I'm just not really sure. With some type of ledge, maybe, and then really should create probably some type of path here. The problem with all this, and the reason why I've paused as so long as I have, coming back to this, is the map is missing. This area needs to make sure it facilitates a good arena for kind of this middle stage. If you think about Gorge, it's that long hallway. I should pull that up really quick, just to do a cross compare. Ugh. Yes, okay. And didn't really want this map to be too much like Gorge. I don't think it's a good thing to compare it to, but just to talk about that, like this room here is where a lot of action happens. So blue coming in from this way, red coming in from this way, but it creates an interesting arena. This hallway too is something that I was talking about. Like a little bit happens up here. This is kind of what I consider the long route, and then you have your short main route, and you just have to make sure that the areas facilitate a lot of some good amount of complication for that. So with that in mind, again, we don't want this to look like Gorge. So where are those kind of interesting areas going to happen? And ideally, if it's anything like Gorge, it shouldn't really happen much in this area if the spawn is there, but this should look or feel like the action that happens in that first hallway in Gorge. The second area here should see a lot of kill, because this is, again, our main route should kind of come in, round up, facilitating a couple other potentially longer routes. But we don't want this to bottleneck too much, so potentially maybe again, we allow players to get over here somehow. I haven't figured that out yet. Considered maybe a long bridge over too, but it's starting to feel like this is all getting a little spread out too thin. My other problem with this first bottom route here is it's like, as a player, why would I cross under this here? It just doesn't make a lot of sense to go back and around when the point's right there. So there's got to be some kind of creation of that. The issue is sniping. So maybe it is a bridge, but we just limit kind of the view that it has, because I don't want anyone up here getting sniped and all that. So coming together, it feels like this area probably needs to be limited here, especially as we get into the first point. So there's that, and this will probably be also some kind of mountain. I've considered a death trap over here as well. Kind of really like this hungry hippo idea of kind of hippos being in the water. I was thinking today about the Whitest Kids You Know Hippo in the City sketch. If you guys haven't seen that, definitely go watch that. So again, this will be a displacement, so don't worry about that. I'm just kind of waiting to cut it all down. So I think this should probably be, this could be really interesting to do. Let's see here. I could arch maybe. See if I have a small arch I could use for that. That's that. Let's try that. Just going to reduce the size of that. Kind of bothers me that this isn't fitting in here, so just gonna let it out. Hey, let's see. Something like that. This map's starting to kind of remind me of, what are those things? I used to play with these things as a kid. I'm sure they have a lot of versions of them now. I don't know why this is on grid, so it's going to bother me. Let me fix this. It's going to drive me nuts. But they would build these like castles with ledges on them, and that's probably part of the reason why I did that. It's fine. Oh, this will be, need to leave room for dirt and stuff like that, so wow, this isn't completely on the grid. Let me just do this. Oh, I'm gonna hit myself later. Even that's bothering me. Okay. But yeah, as a kid I remember it's like they'd have these castles. Here's a good one. Yeah, He-Man. This thing. It's like ledges that would kind of come up and around and bridges, and although I don't want it to look like that, you know, that'd be kind of a cool thing to kind of incorporate in some areas, is that kind of feel. I know a lot of maps have done that so far, but so how tall is this? So we've gotten officially up to 1 story, so I think that that's actually a good height there. If you think about it, so kind of anyone up here, like if a heavy did get up here, they could kind of cause some major damage. So probably want to limit the ability to kind of get up from this angle. So it might be smart to cut that down some. I don't know if that's the right thing to do or not, but let's make it less tempting for one. Two, get up there. Do that. And initially I did like that idea of kind of jumping up there, but again, like if you're here and you're a sniper, like who cares? Like you're gonna probably like go to the point. Although you are trying to protect one of the two, I need to keep remembering that piece. That you are not always going to be going to the point. You know, it's going to be someone else. So it's starting to feel a little too castle-y. But this rock's going to create this thing. I don't like how much that's in that brush either. Oh boy, I got it turned around. Okay. So let's maybe do that instead. The goal of this was to create a little corner for engineers to set up a nice little sentry there, sneak sentry, and of course the weak point to that would be, you know, heavy, whatever coming around the corner here, demo, soldier, or even as this gets built up here, you know, shot down there. So how tall is this? That's pretty tall. I didn't realize how tall I made that. It could be problematic. Yeah, let's. Phew, that was ridiculous. I gotta figure out how to reduce that size. Because as it is now, that's almost two stories up. Which is going to create a lot of problems. so that's one story there. $192 generally, what I find to be the one level height for Team Fortress 2. Not sure what others use, but I've just kind of gotten that from Valve Maps over the years. It does make me pause for a second and go, like, should I build this up like maybe the next level up, which is like a 208 type thing. Just so there's a little bit of a height advantage down, because that is a pretty big drop, but at the same time it makes it where, you know, me as a sniper, I can't just sit up here and absolutely own this area, because they will. Some of the snipers today, like, I'm the first one to get on and go like, you are aimbotting, and then I'll go to watch them in spectate mode, and I swear every single time it's like, nope, I'm just old man now. Cannot snipe, shoot, whatever. So yeah, I might raise those up like it is, but okay, so what do I do here? 208, you know, that feels pretty good. Let's keep it at 208. So no, this is not the most fun to watch, really. Changing the height of all this crap, but in any case, again, appreciate anyone that's joined today. Shift X is a shortcut for that. If you saw me kind of flipping through that, if you're new to Hammer. Kind of a nice night where I am. I've got a fire in the background going. And the room I'm in, and everyone is asleep in my house. It's currently like 2:30. The best time for me to work. Getting into these flow states. There's an awesome research company called the Flow Research Collective that I've done a lot of research and taught about. I manage and coach teams in my real life profession, but flow states are really useful. You're like 1,000 times more productive is what they say when you're in those flow states. It takes about 23 minutes to get into them, so really try to utilize that state as much as possible. Okay, so I built that up because I am about to start thinking about this area out here, and I think I'm going to go simple for now, as much as I want to build something kind of beautiful in here. Think about snipe lines for a second, real quick. The question is, do you leave this open? Because now we have like that problem, and the answer is probably no. too crazy there. Although what's going to have to happen is some kind of blockage over here. So I'm just going to put a brush for the time being, just to kind of signify to me that I need to block off this. Oh man, I should use that. To block off all that sightline. Some of it's okay, but most of it's not. This wall feels really thick. Alright, so one thing I haven't talked about is that this path, it's probably good that I've waited to do all this, but this path is going to be open to red spawn, or in some way, shape, or form over here. So start to simulate that a little bit over here. I feel like pulling this all together is probably going to come in two parts. Most likely, because this is going to be a big, kind of a big overhaul. Where's this connected to? Interesting. So it could be interesting to maybe keep this open. It does make it where soldiers can kind of jump up here, maybe if they need to. I think the problem is, as mentioned, I want red to maybe have the ability to get up there. This is going to be a spawn door exit here. That I am wondering if all this maybe needs to be pulled out too much, a little bit more. So the idea is red as kind of an exit over here. That still need to kind of eliminate these snipe lines. How tall is this? So yeah, I bet pulling all this up, probably two more is going to help a lot. So why do you pull this up, hey you? Well, because if you don't, they get stuck in the floor. I'm just going to close that gap out. Control S for a quick save. If you map in Hammer and you don't hit Control S about every 2 or 3 minutes, although my Hammer crashing on me has gotten a lot better over time. So one thing I can do is probably close this side up to some, just like, for example, it's going to look a little bit weird, but take this, might actually look a little better. Pull these over. Like that. That might end up bothering me long term, but because these two aren't the same. But you know, really, when you come up, that's all you can see anyway. Is that one? What I can do potentially is cut this at a 45-degree angle, put a set of stairs at 45 degrees, just to make it harder to kind of stand out here, potentially. Probably look better anyway. Let me just do that for now, and then I'll remember to do it later. Okay, my cut tool, Control X, red part goes away, and I hit enter. Control S, then that creates a beautiful opportunity for this to get fixed too. So it was already selected. I did not need to do that, but let's just go with this. If I hold down Alt, if I have grid on, it's going to let me pull that wherever I want to. Great. Okay. I'm going to fix all that up later. Alright, coming along. Let's pull this out more. Pull it out of the way. Let's get this over. And just to start closing in some of these boundaries. Okay. By the way, I considered opening this up early on in this first area. There actually was a path there for a short period, and it started becoming Mercenary Park again. Like, what am I doing? So I really wanted this flow to kind of push over into this area, bottleneck into this area a little bit. So we'll see how it goes. But if anyone was wondering, like, why aren't you building in a door there? It's like, literally, I don't want it to become Mercenary Park. And then also creates an option for a spawn room, forward spawn room, potentially. Although a lot of this is just feeling like very wide right here. Wondering if just it would be better served like this. I feel like this is the monotonous part sometimes, just getting the sizing just right, just like recognizing, like, hey, how big is this comparatively to whatever it is. So that move there hopefully creates a bit of a ability to have a forward spawn there too. That's my hope. all this extra space. I had a snipe window here too. I went again. I'm like, oh man, this is becoming Mercenary Park. So let's maybe. Oof. Just get all that closed off. Just get ridiculous stuff. Cleaned up. Good enough for now. I am still wondering if this climb is enough. That was how much is this? That's it's a pretty good climb there, I guess. Yeah, let's keep it like that. I think the one place where it needs some help is maybe here. Let's double that, so it's just 64, okay. Let's bring some characters back in here again. Where's my heavy? There it is. Just get an idea of how far we're going up. Okay. Not really intended for people to get up there, but I imagine soldiers kind of being up here again. Another reason why this is kind of important to have going on. Makes me want to compile it and see it real quick. Okay. So, again, there might be like some little death trap type thing over here. Less water. I was trying to keep the water level like somewhat the same, so thinking through this little piece here, ideally I guess this water would be something similar there. Let's go back to this. Yeah, the more I think about this, like, stupid little... Although options like that are kind of neat. So you could see kind of a scout, maybe. So there could even be like a side entrance here that, players kind of come in from. Could be interesting. I get worried about that. It says red. We want them to kind of come in. And I gotta be careful. That could push people off. This is more of a... And so we'll create some kind of visual cue here. We don't want red coming off this way. when they're coming through that. But if they do, it's kind of one of those things where like, you know, the back side of this should be blocked off. So I've been wondering, like, how does this, like, I kind of want to force red down into this way. But is that going to be a problem? I don't know. Right, let's slide this over. I want to do this for a while. Looks good. Okay. All right. Excuse me. So, this will most likely not be a continuous. Let's get rid of some of these heavies out here. Let's do that instead. Okay. So. I think this is causing a lot of problems being that big of a brush. All right. That could be really interesting. If that, maybe jut it out a little bit. I never really thought about that, but yeah, I like it. Control M if you want to spin it. You can also do it in the thing too. I'm just getting so used to hitting Control M or Shift M. One of those. Right. So again, the thought here is, red comes down. This will be an open, something open of sorts, and there's an option for red to kind of get up here, run around, and defend here is needed, or up here. And then the blue's advantage will be some kind of path up here that I gotta figure out. That also creates that, so that's kind of about a little bit getting up here, in these two areas. Controlling that before you control the points. And then we'll create some exits here somewhere. I think I might do something kind of funky. Lower this some from there. Okay. So we want to make it where some people want to run around in here. So to do that, let's carve this out slightly. Starting to get tired. So I wonder how I'm going to figure this out. Let's go 1, 2, 1. Trying to eliminate people just sitting up here and sniping that off, so this is probably going to have to come out a little more than I would like it to, but that's what happens. I will say this area I'm going to have to prove out the gameplay with, so it's probably going to change quite a bit with that. I have no idea what it's going to be. A lot of this have the idea, like pretty good idea of like what all this is going to be, but this area I'm a little clueless on. So the goal here is really just to get these dev textures up, like enclose the space. It's not going to look pretty. Players aren't going to like it that much for playtesting, who cares? But I just recognize that the mold and the shape of this is probably going to change a few times, which is fine. You got to play with the dough a little bit sometimes before it forms into something. the key is just trying to just reduce that playing with the dough as much as possible. So yeah, there's that, and then we're gonna have something open over here of sorts. So just leave it like that for now, and then this really needs to be cut the same way. So I think this and this should be the same height. Close that off. Okay. Let's make that bigger to make it into a doorway, but I kind of want to do some other stuff there before I do that. Okay. Starting to shape up a little bit. It's a little boring, but I'm gonna have to figure out how to carve and cut this a little smarter. Think through some of it, you know, like there's a possibility, for example, to connect this to this maybe, or even that to that, or I don't know. Or even this is maybe built up. Make a lot of sense. Just thinking through this. I don't want that exactly, but let me do this before I forget. Boy, look at that climb. Could be something like this. yeah, I think I'm gonna stream for another like 3:20 my time, another 7 minutes or so. I call this a day. But I think this is good. A good session, good progress. So far. This is not where it needs to be by any means. So like a lot needs to be done. But I think if I can just take a minute and think through some of this, it'll be really good. It'll turn out really good for next steps. Doing this to get ready for when this has a path through here. I just want to make it the makings of it. This whole brush here doesn't really even feel necessary so much, but play its little game. And then, yeah, some kind of path to spawn for red to be figured out later. Okay. Same thing here. No idea where this should be, but so going back to the original idea of like, hey, let's provide proper options for pathing. That's where this comes from. I can see here there's a real bad snap line. It's probably going to have to be fixed. I think this whole path is going to need to be pulled back some anyway, but it's fine. Let's do one thing. Oh, that's not gonna work. I'll take one look. Cool. Okay. That's that. Oh, yeah. Okay. So yeah, this building would need to be fixed up some. Oh, let's compile this for a second. Routes properly thought through. Again, everything's super simple right now. Just a layer of complication added when it comes to each one of the routes. Just to kind of pull all this together. Dynamics, that's what I call it. Map dynamics. Creates for some interesting arena gameplay overall. God, is this ever gonna load? Did not need to do a full compile. That's going. It hates it right now. Yeah, there'll be some type of path up here to figure that out. I think. Again, maybe it's not so straightforward as that, but. Should have put one in there, it's fine. Alright. That's what I'm talking about. Eliminate that completely. And, of course, for first spawn,
Gentlemen,
I am going to also need to figure out how to make sure that everyone's
Mission
facing
begins in 60
this way.
seconds.
In other words, we don't really want people spawning and going straight through here. So to figure out that too, which might be about kind of shifting all this stuff over this way. So I'm pushing this wall back, making all that bigger. I have a problem generally with my spawn rooms being kind of small to start with, and then they get bigger over time. So this isn't bad.
Mission begins
I
in
don't
30
want any windows
seconds.
over there. I do not want this to be like a well situation. So, not bad. Not too bad with snipe lines. And then, as mentioned, there might be something over here that's kind of open to where a sniper could kind of watch.
Mission begins in 10 seconds.
Snipers' backs are open to
5,
this route
4,
here.
3, 2,
Spies, heavies,
1.
much longer route, so that might be the thing, the key that the team does is kind of come up here to hold this down some. I might like something there. We can't really get up on this. Who knows? Might be a good thing. Yeah, I think I'm pretty sure you get up here now. It's a problem. Potentially a problem. I don't know. Hopefully, maybe the hippos would be in there. I don't know. Not 100% sure I want to release this quite yet. Just very, very bad condition. I do like this a little bit. We'll see how that goes. Okay. A little progress. Alright, appreciate everyone joining today. Catch up a little bit more on the project. I do a little bit more mapping. Part 4 sometime in the next week or so. So stay tuned for that. Ooh, that's a little bit of a nasty problem there to fix that. But yeah, coming along okay. Let's see how it plays. In the long run. It is definitely in its infantile stage. Okay. Cool. Awesome. Thanks, everyone. Catch you later.